Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Coffee Chat. Today we are Coffee Chat on the road because my kids and I are still on our road trip and we're not quite home yet. We decided to linger a little bit in the Napa Valley, so we're currently in Eugene, Oregon. But today we are having a multi-international road trip adventure here because we've got my friend Hoda Afifi joining us live from Cairo. Good morning, Hoda.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Salam alaikum, right?
Salam alaikum. That's the most common greeting that you learned when you first came to Egypt. But today you will learn a new greeting that you should say. The new greeting is Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem. Okay.
Kareem. Ramadan Kareem means have a generous Ramadan. This is the greeting that we say for the whole month of Ramadan. So anytime you see anyone during Ramadan, instead of saying Salam alaikum, you say Ramadan Kareem. Have
Ramadan Kareem. Ramadan. Okay. And there's another one too, because there's Salam alaikum, and then there's another one too that I'm forgetting right now. What's the other greeting in the morning?
Sabah al-khair.
Sabah al-khair. That's the one. Yep, that's the one I was forgetting. Yep. One of these days, I'm gonna take an actual Arabic class and not just fake Arabic. So for those of you just joining us right now who don't know Hoda, you've probably seen her before, but if you're new to Adventures with Sarah, you might not have met her. She is my my local guide in Egypt and a fantastic person. She is so passionate about art and architecture and Egyptian history. And this week on Adventures with Sarah, we're going to, our road trip will be over. So we're going to be going back to our Where in the World programming. And we're going to feature Egypt this week, which is such an exciting time to feature Egypt because your museum finally opened after how many years?
Oh, but this is not the Grand Museum. The big one is not open yet.
It's not. Oh, it's not open. They had the big parade of all the kings. I thought that meant it was open.
No, this is a new one, which is closer to all the Cairo, and it's called the Civilization Museum. And it's quite different to the Grand Egyptian Museum that will have King Tutankhamun treasure and all, the one that will be new to the Giza pyramids. So this is not the Grand Museum, that's a different one.
So tell us about that parade that was on Egyptian TV last week, because that looked really amazing with all the kings. What was that all about?
Let me tell you that I did not expect the parade to be such nice, interesting, amazing. They've done a great work. I don't have enough words to express my feeling. They actually moved the mummies from the Valley of the Kings when they were discovered almost in 1880. They moved them to Cairo Museum. Then ever since this time, they were in Cairo Museum. And for those who haven't been to Cairo Museum is almost like 119 years old. It was opened 1902, and it's more or less like a storehouse for keeping the artifacts. At Cairo Museum, where the mummies used to be, we have over 160,000 artifacts dating back to different eras. From the pre-dynastic period, pharaonic period, ancient Egyptian time, King Tutankhamun treasure, and we have so many artifacts that are stored. So almost 20 years ago, the Egyptian government, they finally realized that they've got to do something. They have to build a new museum and to be able to display, because in one place, you can find 80 different pieces that connected to each other. And none of the pieces is labeled, so you don't actually have any idea what you're looking at. The museum, because it's an old museum, it's not well lit, it's not air conditioned, massive number of people. Like, you come to Cairo, you must see the pyramids, the Egyptian Museum, to see the treasures of King Tut. So almost like 20 years ago, the Egyptian government tried to do something, and we start a museum. And the museum was meant to be closer to the pyramids, only like less than 5 minutes. This is a new museum. And also the Egyptian Museum thought that we also need to move the mummies, because even after moving some, not all, some of the artifacts from all the Cairo museums, still we have heaps to show. So one museum was not enough. That's why they built the Civilization Museum, the one that was open a couple of days, a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I didn't know it was two. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's true. So to attract people also to go to the new museum, they decided to take the mummies there because so many people are interested to see the mummies. It's the best collection of royal mummies that were discovered, like mummies of great pharaohs like Ramses II, who ruled Egypt for 67 years. King Tutmosis the third, who ruled for over 4 years. Queen Hatshepsut, all the famous kings and queens, to attract more, like it's an attracting point to the new museum. Because if you only got to choose, like now we have so many museums, what to do. If you want to see King Tut, you will go to Cairo Museum. If you want to see the new collection, you go to the Grand Museum. If you want to see the mummies, you go to Fustat Museum or the Civilization Museum. The government, I have to admit, they've been doing a great job. The hall where they had the mummies was just opened yesterday. So they moved them, but it took them some time to get them prepared. I haven't been there, but my colleague just went. I was waiting to be able to see the mummies. So I said, I'm not going to go till the 18th or 19th to be able to see the mummies. And I was told that the way that they displayed the mummies is mind-blowing. It's each and every mummy has its own coffin next to it. So you see the coffin where it was put, and you see the mummy, and you see a big label that has all the historical information about each and every king.
That is so exciting. And actually, just to give people a little sense of what we're kind of talking about here, because some people may not know, I just want to quickly share pictures from when you and I were together. Yes. And these pictures are, this is the old museum. So this is what we were talking about when we talk about the old museum. And the old museum was very much, you said it was like 110 years old, 120 years old?
Yeah, 119 years old.
Yeah, it was very much like, Indiana Jones, I guess is, the best way to explain it is watching an Indiana Jones movie, because the cases were all beautiful, but old wood cases. And so many things just packed into this museum, and not really any explanations. So it's kind of exciting to think that all of these beautiful artifacts are going to be shown in a more beautiful place. So the mummies, I'm just trying to flip through. Do we have, I think I have some pictures of mummies as well. Yeah, there's the tombs. I mean, the coffins. So
these are the coffins, amazing. Yeah. So each and every mummy will have its coffin next to it.
That is so exciting. Yeah. Oh, they took a picture of this because this made me laugh. This is the security in the old museum. It's an old padlock from like 1910.
The new museum is very different. The new museum is totally different. Lots of security, lots of cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny, because I just look at some of these things and I think if you put any one of these things in a museum in the United States, there'd be like armed guards around them. But in this museum, it's like padlocks from 1920. So the new museum then is open just for the mummies, but then when does the Grand Museum by the pyramids open?
Inshallah.
Inshallah, always inshallah.
Finger crossed. At the end of this year, 2021. Okay. It's almost finished. Yeah, it's almost finished, but I mean, we're hardly having any tourists coming to Egypt. So I think that it's going to be a big marketing campaign for Egypt to attract more people to come when things are much better and it's safer and people can travel again. The new museum is almost finished. And we're going to have another parade moving King Tutankhamun treasures from the old museum to the new museum.
Well, that'll be fun. I mean, I think that we need celebrations right now, so that's not a terrible thing. So what's going on with tourism in Egypt? Last time I talked to you, you said that there would be groups starting up soon.
Some of the tour companies, I mean, but who usually run small tour trips, they already started. I know a Canadian tour company, Australian tour company, but the tourists who are coming, they're not Australians, they're Americans. They already started. And we have Eastern European tourists, from Ukraine, from Russia. These are the people that come because they come mainly to the to stay by the beach in Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh, and they come for like 1 day visit to Cairo, 2 day visit in Luxor, and that's it. And we have also some individuals who come to Egypt. Anyone can come to Egypt if they have a negative PCR. So there's, no restrictions for tourists.
Wow, that's amazing. So Americans watching this right now could go travel in Egypt right now if they wanted to. It's not against the rules. Wow, and that puts you guys in a very small category, because I think there's just maybe like less than a dozen countries in the world who are allowing that now. So that's exciting for you. So do you see tourists out on the street much now when you walk around?
No, but my neighbor, she's my friend. She went, she's been home for almost a year. Today was her first time to go, and she had like 3 days on a row. She had some tourists that she took them around to the Cairo, to the new museum, to Saqqara, to Memphis, to the Giza pyramids. So, and I was told also that some other friends, they were at the pyramids. So it's a good news that at least we do have individuals who are brave enough and they decide to come and travel. Maybe they.
I almost feel like, you know what, Hoda, I almost feel like coming to Egypt right now, just because I feel like because we started the COVID crisis together, we should end it together, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah, we could like inaugurate the new travel season, you and I together in Cairo. So and just to remind you guys, those of you who maybe don't know, Hoda and I lived through the shutting down of the world together. Like every day on our Egypt tour, it was like we kept hearing, okay, now France is closed. Okay, now Italy's closed. And it was kind of like this rolling blackout of travel as we were going, and we got our people through the entire tour. I'm so proud of ourselves.
We did not miss anything. We did not miss anything on our tour.
No, we didn't. We saw absolutely everything, even though every morning we kept waking up going, what's going to happen today? But it was great. And that's why I love Hoda so much, because she is so incredibly professional, and she was able to get things done and get us to see everything when it seemed otherwise impossible. So hopefully I'm going to see you very soon, my sister. I'm really hoping to come and visit, because what a great opportunity to come to Egypt when there's nobody there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I did ask my friend. When you went to Saqqara to see the stepped pyramid, where it's the very first pyramid to be built, the one older than the Giza pyramids, she told me maybe there were like 3 other vehicles, so 3 other small groups. That was it. Imagine, like in normal days, we have hundreds of people that if you want to go inside any of the pyramids, you have to line up for like 10 minutes, and you can hardly take a photo with no one. My friend, she showed me some photos yesterday where her guests were the only people over there.
Wow, that's magical. And that's going to be the reward that people who are brave, who are vaccinated, and who are ready to go, as soon as places open, they're going to be the first ones there, and they're going to be by themselves, which is maybe a rare opportunity, right?
Exactly. Yeah, most people who come, they're already vaccinated. Yeah. So they had the vaccine, and they feel safe enough to travel.
How's the vaccine going over there? Are you guys getting vaccinated in Egypt?
We're getting vaccinated, but I don't know. There's like some sort of priority for people who are working for the medical sector, so doctors, nurses, and all the people, anyone who's over 60. So this is number 1 priority for the government, because we have 70 million people that need to be vaccinated. Can you imagine?
Egypt is a big country. I don't think people realize how big it is. It's bigger than most European countries.
We're almost 110 million.
110 million people, and it's just a huge country too. Just the amount of space you have is huge. Isn't it similar to like Texas?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know the number of people in Texas, but yeah, it's
I'm not talking size-wise. It's huge though. Egypt is absolutely enormous, and there's it's very, very populated. So
100 million square meter. 100 million, like, it's not square. 100 million kilos.
That's
kilometers.
incredible. Yeah, it's just a huge place. So, well, I hope things start getting rolling soon. So, just a few questions about what we're going to be doing this week to highlight Egypt. I know that we've got a few things lined up. We've got a live tour lined up. So, what are you planning to show us later this week?
I'm gonna show you one of the oldest streets of Islamic Cairo. It's like a big open museum. A street that has houses, mosques, schools that over 600 years, 900 years, and it's live. And I'm gonna take you in a very special time. Like we will be doing this tour maybe like an hour and a half just before breaking our fast. So for those people who don't know, we are celebrating Ramadan.
So why don't you explain a little bit about what Ramadan is? Because some people may not know.
Okay, Ramadan is the ninth month of the lunar calendar or the Islamic calendar. Muslim, they do follow the lunar calendar, and Ramadan is the ninth month. And it's a lunar calendar, so the time for Ramadan usually changes because it's based on the different phases of the moon. And the lunar year is shorter than the lunar calendar is shorter than the Gregorian calendar. It's almost 11 days less. So the Islamic calendar is 354 days, not 365 days.
Okay.
And for us Muslims, we must fast Ramadan. Why? Why we do celebrate, especially this month? Because Quran, our holy book, was first revealed to Muhammad, our prophet, during this month. And when we're fasting, we stop drinking water or anything. We stop eating, smoking, from sunrise till sunset. And so sunset, the sunset's now in Cairo almost 6:25, and it rises 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna take you to the balcony. Now, I'm gonna take you to the balcony, and I hope that you can hear the call for the prayer. There's some sort of noise.
Yep, we can very vaguely hear it, but yeah, we can hear it. And for those of you watching, those are the Great Pyramids of Giza.
It's time for breaking the fast now. So everyone is in his home or at his home, ready to break the fast. If you ask me, Hoda, when was the last time that you had water, I would tell you last night at 11:30 p.m. So I haven't had anything for almost more than 18 hours or 20 hours, nothing, no water, and that's the big challenge. No food, nothing at all. Why we fast Ramadan? We fast Ramadan because we consider Ramadan some sort of like a personal challenge. You challenge yourself. You challenge yourself to stop things that you're used to give up things that you like, to give up things that you think that you cannot give up, like coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. My day cannot start without coffee. I can tell you that I haven't had coffee for almost a week now because Yes. I have, like, I cannot imagine in my normal days, I cannot imagine my day without coffee.
Yeah.
I open my eyes, the first thing that I go to the kitchen and I make my coffee first, even before having water. But because it's Ramadan now, I gave up things. And we gave up things because that make us appreciate what we have, because usually we take things for granted. And everyone always complain, and everyone always see what they don't have, and they forget about what they have, right? If I'm having only pasta and chicken, I will complain because I want to have burger. But I don't think about the, not everyone, but some of us don't think about people who are dying because of hunger.
Yeah.
So we appreciate what we have when it's taken. And
Omar wants to get in, I think, into this onto the screen too. Hello. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You always speak such good English when I see you.
Yeah, so yeah, it's, I have to tell you that it's not easy. I mean, fasting is not easy, and it takes time. My first 2 days of this Ramadan, I was like having very bad headache in the morning. Oh my God, oh, I'm not, what I'm gonna do. But now it's the 7th day, and I think I've been doing very well. We do fast, as I told you. The time varies from one country to another because it's based on the sun, when the sun rises and it sets. So in some countries, people would fast for 14 hours. Some countries, they fast for more than 14 hours or less. Yeah, so this is basically what we do during Ramadan. And it is a must to fast if you can, but there's always conception. There's, yeah, for example, sick people, people who are on medication, they don't have to do it. Old people that are not strong enough, they don't have to fast. Pregnant women, they don't have to fast. The woman during her cycle, she doesn't have to fast. If a woman breastfeeding or nursing, she doesn't have to fast. Children before 12, the age of 12, they don't have to fast. So if you ask me what I'm doing with Omar, and he's only 6.5 now, I tried to train him to fast, but only for like half an hour, 1 hour a day, like an hour and a half. And during this 1 hour, he keeps saying, when I'm gonna break my fast? When I'm gonna break my fast? Yeah, so this is basically, and we do this for a whole month. We started April. We started April 14th. That was the first day. And we're gonna end Ramadan May 13th, because Ramadan this year will be 30 days.
Wow. And if I remember correctly, people love it when Ramadan is in the wintertime, right? Because the daylight is so short.
Exactly. And yeah, if you don't mind, you're having coffee, and this is my main drink for now, because I'm allowed now to drink.
Oh, yay. All right. So let's have our drink. Cheers.
Cheers.
So you said you've set up your table for Ramadan, and are you gonna show us what you're gonna be having?
I'm gonna show you what we are having for Ramadan. Omar.
Got your little helper.
Yes. My backbone, my sister. Yeah, Hind, fine. Okay. Okay. تعالي يا نودا. تعالي. هند.
لا هم
اوكي اوكي. كده كده. اوكي.
لا رجعت.
Give me a second. So this is Hind, my friend.
Hello.
Hello, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And yeah, she was helping me to prepare iftar, or this meal. We call it, by the way, we call it breakfast because we break our fast. Okay, so the drink that I just had was dates soaked in milk. These are the dates. Okay, so it's like dry dates. Can you see it? Dry dates. We soak it in hot or cold milk for a couple of hours till it becomes soft. Okay, and another drink that we usually have is hibiscus. If you remember, hibiscus tea, it's very famous in Egypt. It's from the hibiscus flower. We soak the hibiscus. This is a drink. Okay. It's like rosé. But it's a mix of hibiscus tea and tamarind tea. And yeah, this is the hibiscus flower. This is a hibiscus flower. We will be having here salad, green salad, okay. Egyptian rice. And I have to show you how we cook this Egyptian rice. Okay, it's quite different, but it's really delicious. And this is like a vegetable tagine. It's mix of vegetables, beans, carrot, zucchini, and it's cooked in tomato sauce. And these are chickens that are filled with rice and then grilled. Okay. So this is like a typical iftar or a typical breakfast that most people would have. Vegetables, and we eat lots of vegetables, rice, any kind of protein. So this is going to be our meal for breaking the fast. We call this meal iftar, which in Arabic, which means breakfast, because we are breaking our fast. Yes, it's 6:30 p.m., but this is when we're breaking our fast. And usually during Ramadan, we have two meals. We have this meal, and we have another meal, which is just before the sun sets.
That is a lot of food.
I have to tell you that it's a lot of food because I have my mom today. I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her for almost a week, and I have my neighbor as well. So yeah, today I have a feast at home. Yeah, just to celebrate Ramadan with them. As you know, my husband is not with us; he's in Dubai. So every day I have breakfast by myself, or I have iftar by myself. So when you eat and you're by yourself, you don't feel that you really want to eat. So today I decided to make a big feast and celebrate Ramadan with you too.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I'm breaking my fast too because it's morning here. So I feel like I should have my, hey, Luca, can you bring me my breakfast? I have my breakfast. We can sit and we can eat together at our hotel. There we go. It's not as beautiful as what you've got. I've got hotel eggs and sausage, which is like American breakfast. Would you like some?
I think we do. I have to tell you that when you're really fasting, you don't, for that long time, you don't feel like eating. All what you care about is just water. Yeah. It's just that you need to drink water. And we have this meal, and we have another meal that usually have just like 1 hour or 2 hours before the sun rises, and it's called suhoor. And it got to be a light meal, not too heavy, but something that will help you to survive fasting for the rest of the day. And usually people would have like yogurt, cheese, beans. They tend to eat lettuce because it's full of water, or eat the cucumber as well. Anything that will help you not to feel very thirsty.
And you must drink a lot of water too before you go to bed, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's the challenge.
Because then if you drink too much, it wakes you up.
Exactly. You got to do many visits.
Well, I'm glad that you're celebrating Ramadan surrounded by your family and by Omar and everybody. And so a question for you then is, you are a year into this lockdown, this quarantine, this like not having tourism and all of that. How are you doing? You look great.
I do, because I try to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
You know, for us as tour guides, we always have to update our knowledge. And if you work in Egypt, you know, I mean, you never stop studying or updating your knowledge. There is always something to learn. Every day there is a new discovery somewhere, and you have to keep yourself. So I try to attend some online classes that would cover some topics that I think that might help me with my career. So that's what I try to do. And because also I do tours in Dubai, I will be renewing my guiding license for Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So I have a lot to study.
Yeah,
because
so
in
you
Dubai,
do
every 2 years. Yeah.
And that was something else I wanted to mention to people watching, because Dubai is such a common place for people to fly through now. They can get in touch with you, and you do walking tours, but you also do food tours, right? Which I think is such a cool idea.
Yeah. So I try to keep myself busy. Otherwise, I would get crazy doing nothing. And also, I do have Omar, and nowadays he goes to school only for 3 days, and we have 2 days at home. We do online classes for 2 days, so I have to be next to him. He's only 6.5, so I have to keep an eye on him. I take him to have swimming classes, so he learn how to swim twice a week. And I decided to lose some weight. So I go to the gym, and I'm on a diet now. I almost lost 10 kilograms, and I'm hoping to lose another 20.
Congratulations. That's so great, Hoda.
So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do during this time. I'm trying to take the best out of this time. Enrich my knowledge. Yeah. And look after myself, look after my son, enjoy my time with my son. I mean, we don't know what's hidden. Like, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow for us or for our family. So if there is a good moment that you can enjoy, do it.
I absolutely agree with you. And I just kind of think that this whole COVID thing was our fault. You and I willed this into existence, because I remember one of the first days we met, we were talking about how hard it is to be away from our kids so much.
Exactly.
Well, we got all the time in the world that we needed with our kids. But it's been great that way.
Yes, and I'm talking about myself. I do really enjoy it, and I can see that you're enjoying your time with your kids as well. It's this kind of balance that we were missing. Yeah, we love our career, we love our job, but it's really very difficult to compromise when you do our job and you're always on the road. And our career is sort of, it's kind of addiction. You do this job and you cannot see yourself doing any other job. You cannot see yourself sitting in an office and doing office work. No, you love talking to people, introducing new culture and to people, getting to know new people as well. So it's not just a job.
That is such a great way to put it, Hoda. And I couldn't agree with you more, that it's one of these things that it's like a lifestyle, I guess you could say, but it's also just who we are. And I can't imagine. I can't imagine sitting in an office. I mean, and I've been thinking about it lately. It's like, gosh, if this continues on and I can't do tours this fall, I probably need to get a regular job. And it's like, ugh, that sounds awful. We're good at what we do. That's the problem, is when you love what you do, you're good at what you do and you don't want to do anything else. So, and you're very good at what you do. So you make hieroglyphics leap off of the stones and into life, which is, I think, quite an interesting feat. So what else are you up to then? Are you, when's your next tour? Do you know?
No, I don't have any idea when is my next tour, but it's just prediction that not until maybe Christmas 2021. We started, and it's just like the company that I mainly work for, they had a tour this month, and they're gonna, on June, they will have another 2 tours. So hopefully we will have some more coming on the way once people get confident enough to travel.
Yeah.
But if there are any variables that are coming, I can see myself maybe doing day tours, just in Cairo. When people come to Cairo and just stopping over for 1 or 2 days, I can see myself maybe doing some day tours.
Well, hopefully it'll open up sooner rather than later. But hey, if anybody out there wants to go to Egypt, Hoda and I are like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll take you tomorrow if you want. We're both so ready to travel. So
I want maybe some of the people that watching us are wondering, is it good or bad to come to Egypt or any Muslim country when it's Ramadan? Because some people, they're concerned, people will be fasting, restaurants will be closed, I won't be able to enjoy my time. But I have to tell you that it's not really that strict. Because in a country, I'm talking about Egypt, in a country like Egypt, we're not all Muslims. We're like 85%, 90% Muslim, and there are 10% of the population who are Christian. And for a tourist to come and visit Egypt, maybe they only need to be concerned about being in public, eating, drinking in public. So restaurants, most of the restaurants, like big brands, will serve food, but it will be to go, take away. Okay, but not just open for you to go and sit. Around the touristic sites, there will be restaurants that will be open for tourists. Hotels, they operate during the daytime. The only maybe change is that the working hours are less. So for example, if the permits working hours or the opening timing is from 8 in the morning till 4, they make it 3 instead of 4. So
Okay.
they shorten the opening hours only 1 hour. If the museum usually closes at 5 o'clock, it will close at 4 o'clock during Ramadan, just to give time for the people that working at the site to get home to have iftar with their families. Okay, so that's the only
good
thing.
To know. Yeah, no, that's good to know, because actually when I've been planning my some of my trips, like in Morocco, for example, we're always trying to plan them around Ramadan, so we're not there during Ramadan. I would say my ulterior motive on that is just that Americans love to have, you know, a glass of wine with dinner or something, and you can't have that, like, at all, right? You can't find any alcohol during Ramadan. Is that correct? There's no sales.
Maybe it varies. It varies from one country to another. In Egypt, I think it's fine. People, I mean,
Really?
in hotels, people can find wine during. I mean, hotels would be serving wine during Ramadan, so it's not an issue.
Really, tourists then don't have a big problem traveling in Ramadan. That's interesting, because that is actually
there's also one thing that people would really enjoy the experience, because life before breaking the fast is something, and life after breaking the fast is something else. Before breaking the fast, people are slow and tired. And just because they're flat, they're running out of energy, especially after like between 2 o'clock and 6 or 7 o'clock, you're almost dying. So people are quiet. The streets are not that busy. Okay, but look, after 7:30, everyone is out celebrating and eating and drinking, and it's very good time to go and eat out with friends. So group, like each and every group friends will go to have iftar outside. So what I'm gonna take you on this Thursday, we will see what I'm talking about. We will see when people go out, like friends go out and they all sit. So if a tourist, for example, decided to come to Egypt, I wouldn't recommend that he would sit and eat at the hotel. Go to any of the local restaurants just half an hour before breaking the fast. You see everyone quiet, everyone sitting, no one is eating, and all of a sudden, once the call for the prayer, everyone is ready to eat. Okay,
so it's like a big party.
Yes, it's a big party. So you're celebrating, and you see a different part of the culture during Ramadan. And people celebrate, people stay late because, I mean, they know that they got to have another meal late at night. So people won't be sleeping before 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you go, for example, to Khan el-Khalili, where we're going to go on Thursday, people will be there after 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. So people just stay up all night then during Ramadan because they can eat and drink and then they sleep during the day.
if you're not working, or, I mean, that's not what we're meant to do. But if you're a housewife, if you don't have responsibility, if you're not working, if it's the weekend, so yeah, why not that you try to sneak and not to fast the whole 16 hours and only like fast for 6 hours. If you're gonna be
super clever
for 12 hours.
Yeah, no, I would totally do the same thing. I would just sleep in. My kids do that anyway. Wow, that's really fun. So what you have for your iftar then, is that what most people would eat when they go out with at cafes, or would there be a different kind of menu? Or
usually that would, or for example, towards the end of Ramadan, people are like, that's enough. We're fed enough with the homemade food, and we just want to try something different. So if they go out, they will go for pizza, they will go for Egyptian pie, they will go for kosheri, like the mix of pasta, rice, lentil, chickpeas, because just they want to change. Okay,
Sure.
so that's what usually people still, you can find everything and anything. But I can tell that after the first 2 weeks of Ramadan, people are just bored and they want to try something different. They might go to McDonald's, they might go to KFC. Just, yeah.
Okay, so McDonald's is an appropriate iftar. Somebody's asking actually a really good question. Are you allowed to prepare food during the fast time?
Of course. We spend, usually women do spend lots of time. Because it's a big gathering time. I mean, you usually invite friends and family to your house, and you get invited as well. Forgot to tell you that during Ramadan, if you only have 2 meals, so it's quite similar to the intermittent fasting, where what people do to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
But we gain weight during Ramadan. We don't lose weight because you have a feast every single day. If you're not invited, if you don't invite someone, you're being invited to somebody's house. And it's the month of generosity. So when I'm expecting you to come and have iftar with me, I will do the best that I can.
Yeah.
And you expect that people would be insisting that you have to try this. Not one dish is not enough. You have to try this. You have to try this. And if you don't eat, they get upset. And maybe you don't like our food. Maybe there's something. Shall we bring you something else? Or, yes, we gain weight because it's a big celebration time for us. And yeah, women do spend time, lots of time in the kitchen.
So, and you have the time too, so you may as well. And then you have the big, celebration feast at the end. That's really fun.
Huh. And at the end of Ramadan, we have one of the 2 big Muslim festivals called the Iftar Festival, or Eid, E-I-D, Eid. We have Eid. We have the Iftar Festival at the end of Ramadan, and it lasts for 3 days. And this is when we tend to visit each other and exchange gifts as well. And we have a huge, big prayer the first day of Eid, where everyone go to pray, families, women, men, and everyone. Forgot to tell you something else, that also during Ramadan, most people, they consider this time, it's not just that it's time to stop eating and drinking, it's time to behave and stop doing any bad deeds. So for example, because it's all about food, okay? If you try to be a better human being, if you're used to swearing, for example, you try, the whole day, it's not to stop just eating or drinking, but just stop swearing, for example. Also, people would tend to read the holy book, Quran, at least once during Ramadan. And if people are wondering, like, how big is the holy book, I have it here and I will show it to you. See, this is
looks pretty big.
It's 114. It's 114 different chapters.
Okay.
Okay. Some of the chapters takes few seconds to recite. Some can take up to half an hour to finish. So, like, if every day you decided to read 1 chapter by the end of Ramadan, you will be able to. You will be able to finish it. So people would tend to read the Quran, finish reading the whole book, which usually don't happen. Like, in normal days we don't do it. Maybe just in Ramadan. So you try to dedicate some time for reading the Quran. And also we do have a special prayer that people do during Ramadan. Muslim, they do have 5 prayers a day, but during Ramadan it's 6. So we do have 1 extra prayer, and it's called Taraweeh. People can do it at home, or they can do it at the mosque as well. Last Ramadan, all the mosques were closed. This Ramadan, it's opened, but there are regulations and precautions that people have to take. So limited number of people inside the mosque. So it's and it's better if you do the prayer at home, because not so many people inside the mosque.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of Mecca and how they have a very few number of people in Mecca, and they're all 6 feet apart and they're all wearing masks. So they are taking some precautions, which is good. So when is Ramadan over?
It's going to be May 13th. That's when it's over.
It's long.
Yeah.
It's pretty long. So this
Yeah,
reminds me very much of my tradition in Catholicism of Lent, where you're supposed to give something up. You're not supposed to
yes.
eat meat on Fridays. It's not quite as strict as Ramadan, but then at the end we have Easter where we give each other gifts, and it seems like about the same day. So about what, a month more or less, you said?
Yes, it's a month. It's a
It's
month.
a month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm sure that it's kind of nice to celebrate a little bit now. I mean, considering that we've had a year of sitting around.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Well, we're starting to run a little bit out of time, but I just wanted to kind of talk about what else we're going to do this week to celebrate Egypt. So we're going to have you do the walk on Thursday. I'm going to cook, I think, on tomorrow, but I need to know what to cook. You need to help me out, Hoda, because we need to figure out what kind of dish I want to present this week. So you and I need to talk after this. Somebody actually asked, what is the national dish of Egypt?
The national dish of Egypt will be koshari.
It's
Koshari.
the mix of lentils and rice and all of that.
Yeah, that's the national dish of Egypt. The thing about Egyptian cuisine that it's mix of everything. So I would say mahshi, but mahshi is dolma. You know, dolma, the stuffed vegetables, and this is Turkish. And this is Turkish, but because we've been invaded by so many nations, I mean, the Turkish were here for over 500 years. So there's big Turkish influence in our cuisine. Moussaka, it's a Greek, and it's very popular in Egypt as well. Maybe koshari is an Egyptian invention, maybe.
That's right. It's true, though, now that you think about it. I had no idea there was a Turkish influence, actually. I've seen that the food is kind of similar through most of the North African and Mediterranean Muslim countries, but I didn't realize that it was because the Turks were there. Okay.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. Okay, so I think that the other thing I just wanted to touch on, so we've got tomorrow we'll do cooking. Wednesday, I think Reed has a guest who is a scholar on Egyptian history. We're going to have you back on Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to do our slideshow, which will be really fun. I'll get to show off all of our pictures of our wonderful trip that we took together, which is so much fun. So just one of the other questions I'm sure people are wondering is, when is the best time to come to Egypt?
Best time to come to Egypt is any time between October and May. October and May, this is when summer is about to finish, and winter, and our winter is perfect. It's like we're talking about 20, 25, minimum 15, and we hardly have any rains. So yeah, this is the perfect time to come to Egypt. This is a peak season for us. October to May.
And then after that, it gets a little too hot, right?
It does. Like June, July, and August. August is considered to be the hottest when it's like 40 plus. And mid-September, it starts to cool down.
Okay. And we were there I think it was, we were there in March, and March was actually surprisingly cool. I was expecting it to be, hot and deserty, but it actually can be pretty cool because we stay pretty much along the Nile, and the Nile is more cool, right?
Yes, exactly. And and March is a spring for us, the spring season. And still, spring season is a perfect time to come and visit.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to have to come and visit you again soon. We've got, I think we have our tour scheduled, but I think it's almost sold out, but that's going to be in October next year, I think. Is that right? Am I remembering right? Yes. Okay.
I think so, yes.
And who knows, maybe we'll put another Egypt tour. If Italy refuses to open for the fall, we may put a little impromptu Egypt tour together for those of you who are looking for some travel adventure, because I just can't wait to see you. I can't sit and wait here a year before I get to see you again. So we're going to have to make it sooner than that.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope to get to see you.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Hoda, all the way from Cairo, and happy Ramadan to you. Do you say that? Happy Ramadan?
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem. There we go.
Ramadan Kareem.
All right, my dear friend. I can't wait to see you again on Thursday for our little walk. And hello again to little Omar. He's so cute.
Thank you.
So we'll see you. And what time did we decide on Thursday, just so everybody knows? For the walk?
It's gonna be 5 p.m. Egypt time, which is gonna be 8.
Okay.
8.
So early morning, which is fine. So everybody who's watching, just remember Thursday, we're going to have an early morning if you'd like to walk live with Hoda through Cairo, through Historic District, which I'm sure is going to be absolutely magnificent because she's amazing. So we'll see you again on Thursday, my friend. Mwah! Big hugs and kisses to you. Thanks for coming on today.
تعالي يا هند. أنا أطبخ إيه بكرة؟